Hey, what's up guys? This is iSithKills, and today we got a full guide and tutorial on the brand new Black Ops 6 Zombies map, Citadelle Des Morts. This guide is going to be complete with tips and suggestions, and also how to build all 4 wonder weapon swords, and also how to complete all the Easter egg steps, with also tips and suggestions on how to complete and get the boss done first try. Before we start, if you don't mind hitting that subscribe button, it shows about 98% of the people who view my videos are currently not subscribed, and it will mean the world to me if you hit that subscribe and like button. Let's dive in. As far as gobblegums, I would suggest using Power Keg, Arsenal Accelerator, and Shields Up for the boss fight. And then also for your 4th and 5th, you can pretty much use whatever you like, whatever you think will save you either time or money. Using Shields Up refills armor on use. Armor is also twice as strong. Arsenal Accelerator lasts 5 minutes. It charges the player's field upgrade faster. And of course Power Keg, which gives you your full power up, which gives you your full field upgrade back. Just keep in mind it spawns as a power up and you're going to need to pick it up after you pop it. You're going to want to use all 3 during the last phase of the boss fight. For weaponry, I would suggest using the XM4, which is what I use on all my runs. I would suggest using the extended mag attachments on this weapon, which gives you 100 in the magazine. That's the extended mag 3. If you don't have that, of course, then extended mag 2 or whatever. And then also rapid fire and kind of dealer's choice on the rest of the attachments, maybe long barrel, but you're trying to make your focus on firepower and accuracy. Another good choice is the Craig C with extended mag 2, long barrel, and rapid fire, and kind of dealer's choice with the other attachments, again focusing on accuracy and firepower. Another good weapon to use is the GPMG7. I haven't actually used this one myself, but a lot of the speedrunners are using this, and they are liking this actually in their runs when they're doing the boss fight. It has a high fire rate, heavy in the ammo, and it's also strong. So if you have this leveled up with rapid fire and the attachments, this is also another good option. Any one of these weapons are good to start with, and with this weapon and also the XM are available in the map just in case you wanted to rebuy it if it's a higher rarity. Also make sure that you have your GS45s leveled up with the attachments that you want. You're going to want this also for the boss fight as a wall weapon you're going to buy later on in the Easter egg. Main attachments I will suggest using on the GS45 would be the rapid fire, akimbo, and extended mag, and kind of dealer's choice on your barrel, suppressor so you can get more salvage. I would also highly suggest changing your slide to a designated keybind so this prevents you from accidentally kneeling in the boss fight in inopportune times. This is very useful, trust me, so definitely designate a key for just the slide key. You're going to want to start with Molotovs and actually load in with this for an Easter egg step. I would also suggest using the shock charges if you have it unlocked. This is also going to be useful for Easter egg step, but it's not necessary because you can use dead wire for the same step. For your field upgrade, I would suggest using Aether Shroud with 2 augments. The first augment being Burst Dash, and then also Extension. Extension being the most important because it significantly increases the duration of your Aether Shroud so you stay invisible longer. If you are in co-op, however, I would suggest using nearby players are also cloaked instead of Burst Dash. This will obviously be more useful in the boss fight. Augments for perks, I would suggest on Melee Macchiato, I would suggest using Strength Training, which your punch can kill normal enemies for more rounds, and then most important is also melee attacks are significantly faster. This helps out a lot because it basically doubles the speed of your sword swings, so I definitely would suggest using them. For PhD, I would suggest using PhD slider, sliding to enemies triggers an explosion, and then also sliding distance and speed are increased. This is significantly useful in the boss fight, as you will be using this a lot, dodging the boss's attacks. For quick revive, I would suggest using the Dying Wish augment and then also Slow Death, which if you do go down in the boss fight, gives you a little bit more time to do free DPS on the boss. This might want to change this in co-op, but if you're in solo, I would suggest using these two augments. For Vulture Aid, I would suggest using Field Upgrade, which on death, zombies have a chance to create a gas cloud that charges your field upgrade if you stand in it. Very useful for the between phases in the boss fight, so you can get your Aether Shroud before damaging the boss. For the minor augment, I would suggest using Picky Eater, which will have a higher chance of zombies dropping your current equipment, which is useful for some steps of the Easter egg. For Juggernog, I would suggest using Probiotic, slightly increase maximum health for Juggernog, which gives you 50 more health, and then also Hardened Plates, which armor plates have more damage mitigation. For Speed Cola, I would suggest using Supercharge, which will help you recharge your field upgrade faster. Hugely beneficial for the boss fights, which almost guarantees you getting your field upgrade before damage phase starts. I used Swap Weapons Faster Quick Swap as the minor augment, but dealer's choice for you. For Deadshot, I used Deadhead, which is further increased critical damage, and Dead Break, which increased damage to armor pieces. But for the rest of the perks, honestly, you can use whatever you want, but those are the ones I would highly suggest using on those perks. I would highly suggest buying Jug, Stamina Up, and getting PhD as your first 3 perks, just in case you go down the boss fight, you still have a chance to get it done. When you revive, as you know, your first 3 perks you're still going to have, so definitely buy these 3 perks first. First thing you'll want to do is open up the map and get to the cannon. Once at the cannon, which will have a waypoint that will guide you to it, turn the wheel all the way around and use the cannon. Once the wheel is turned, interact with it to shoot down the door. Follow the waypoints. Once you get to the green box, go ahead and shoot these locks off the box, which will spawn a boss. Once you shoot the last lock off, the boss will spawn, and he's not too bad, but once you do kill him, he'll drop something you need to pick up to open Pack-a-Punch. Once he's dead, go ahead and pick up the Erythium. Deposit the Erythium in the box, which will open Pack-a-Punch. Next, buy Quick Revive, interact with the door right behind the perk, which is right here. Talk to the man. Now that we got map and pack open, let's go over some side Easter eggs that I found useful to complete this Easter egg. The first side Easter egg we're going to go through is the Rat King Easter egg, which is picking up this cheese here at spawn by breaking that window, and then finding 10 rats around the map, starting with this one here, right below the car. Then the second one right here at spawn by kneeling here. The third rat is right by Deadshot. If you kneel right here, he's just hanging out right here. The fourth rat is right under the cannon. If you kneel right here under this wood, he'll be here. The fifth rat is right by Jug. You make your way down this corridor and kneel right below this chair. He'll be hanging out right here. The sixth rat will be right next to Stamina Up, hanging out right below this little chair. The seventh rat is in the pools area, hanging out next to this spawn point. Just lay down, scare him away. The eighth rat is right by Quick Revive, on the right hand side in this jail cell. The ninth rat is in the knight's room, right in front of the stag knight, or behind it I mean, hanging out on the bottom of the crates. The 10th and final rat is right here in the alchemical room, right behind this tablet. Just kneel down, scare him, and that's all 10. Go ahead, head back to Pack-a-Punch, and you'll notice all 10 rats are here. You give them the cheese, and they'll give you some good rewards. As you can see, you get about 1,000 points here, plus you get a legendary weapon possibly, another good attachment. You can get a free perk. Very useful stuff that you can get during this Easter egg. Not to mention, when you pick up the crown, you also get a crown on your head, which is very reminiscent of Destiny. I don't know if this gives you any special ability or if there's any continuation to this Easter egg, but the point of doing it is getting the rewards, getting the points, possibly getting a legendary weapon and a free perk, trying to save money and salvage. Next, we're going to talk about the free PhD Easter egg, which you have to grab 3 bottles around the map. The first bottle being the Knight's Room right here. Then the second bottle is going to be right by Pack-a-Punch room. If you make your way and open this door to the Pools room, you can go ahead and grab the bottle, which is going to be under this table, hanging out next to these bottles. And the third and final one is going to be in the Stamina room, hanging out at the bottom shelf right next to this thing here. You can make sure by kneeling, making sure you grab it, but it's right there in the bottom shelf. Head to spawn. Once you're in spawn, you're going to interact with the trash can that's all the way in the back here. Interacting with it will put you in a little safety zone where zombies won't hurt you, and you just need to serve them a colored drink. If you get the colors wrong though, it's going to automatically fail you. You're not going to get PhD. The nice thing about this is that you can get 100 points per kill, up to 500 points sometimes, so definitely take advantage of it. Lasts about 90 to 120 seconds, but once you serve enough drinks, this will be over and you'll actually get PhD for free on the map. This is the only way you can get PhD before round 25. Now that we have 2 of the main side Easter eggs that I wanted to go through with you, because I believe those side Easter eggs will extremely help you out on your run, we're going to go through how to build the wonder weapons and how to build the incantations of those wonder weapons. Each wonder weapon has its own incantation, which gives you a tactical slot ability, which is also very useful for the Easter egg and boss fight, and you need to complete each incantation and wonder weapon in order to progress with the Easter egg. Since you have to wait till round 10 to get a stamp from the metal-headed zombies, you can work on the incantations in between rounds 1 and 10. You can even get a lot of them done, but what we'll do is we'll go through the wonder weapon, how to build it, and then also how to get its incantation. Just keep in mind, there's no specific order you have to do the wonder weapons, no specific order that you have to build the incantations. You can do it however you see fit. Next, get to round 10, and what you're looking for is you're looking for these metal-headed zombies that are immune if you try to shoot them in the head. Go ahead and kill them, and they're going to drop a part. This part is called the stamp, which will give you access to the swords. 1 stamp per sword. These metal-headed zombies will spawn, sometimes multiple in the same round, and if you wait a little bit, they could spawn again. But if you notice that they haven't spawned in a couple of minutes, go ahead and push the round if you need to get more stamps. Head to a knight, interact with it so you can get your first sword. This sword is going to be the base sword, which now we're going to work on upgrading them. First sword we're going to upgrade is the fire sword. The fire sword is the knight that has the dragon on his chest. With the sword, head back where Jug is and interact with this little statue, depositing the sword. There are going to be 3 fire cauldrons around the map, starting with this one at spawn, which you can interact with. Once you interact with it, your health is going to be rapidly decreasing, but good news, there's going to be zombies that spawn. All you need to do is melee them and it will bring you back to full health. Bring this fire all the way back to the dragon statue by Jug. Punch zombies all the way until you reach Jug and deposit it in the statue. The next one is right outside spawn door. Interact with it. Head back to the statue, meleeing zombies as you go. Once there, same thing, deposit it, and you're done with the second one. The next one is right by the cannon. On this corner, on the left side of the cannon, interact with it, and this time, since it's really close, go ahead, don't need to worry about killing zombies, deposit it. That is your third and final one. Now you can go ahead and pick up your fire sword. For the fire incantation, you're going to need Molotovs, and you're going to need to flame 3 haystacks, kind of like Dreisendrach, around the map, starting with that middle one right in front of the cannon. Next, right above Elemental Pop, there's a haystack right here. Go ahead and throw a Molotov. Each haystack will spawn in adds and enemies, with the last haystack spawning in a mini-boss. The last haystack is on the left side of the cannon. Once the mini-boss spawns, go ahead and take him out, and he's going to drop Roz and go ahead and pick up the part. Next, with the Ankh, you need to interact with this glowing circle, which will spawn as soon as you get near it. Adds will spawn again, and you just need to kill enough zombies, and when you get enough zombie souls, the circle will disappear and a chest will spawn. You'll hear that little Easter egg cha-ching sound, and that means it's done. Once you have the little chest open, don't forget to melee it with your fire sword. When you melee it, it will actually unlock the fire incantation, which will take away your tactical slot, but this is needed for the Easter egg. Next sword we're going to do is the lion sword, which is the lion symbol, which is the light sword. When you pick up this sword, you're going to notice that flies are going to spawn, but these are special flies. They're going to be glowing, and when you get a kill with the fly, you're going to notice that your sword is going to be glowing. This is going to count as 1 charge. Each fly counts as 1 charge. You're going to need 4 charges to open a door. Head to where Speed Cola is, and take your charge, and you're going to melee this door. That's 1 out of 4. Melee another fly, head back to the door, and melee the door again. Repeat this process 2 more times. Once you're ready, and I suggest that you have ammo for this, interact with this door right here. Go all the way to the podium and deposit your sword. When you deposit your sword, you're going to notice that symbols are going to be flying out of the sword, and look in the middle of the podium, and you need to shoot these symbols in order, starting with the first symbol right here in the middle. Once you shoot the symbol, it will change, and you need to shoot the next symbol. This is timed. You must shoot 4 symbols in order to complete this. Look at the symbol, look for it on the wall, and shoot the symbol. See right there, it didn't work. You have to kind of make sure it goes into the middle, like that one, it did go in the middle. Next one I gotta shoot is Snowflake, so I'm gonna shoot Snowflake. Next one is Up Arrow, so I'm gonna shoot Up Arrow. And then the last one is the last one that's in the air. Once you shoot the last one, you can go ahead and pick up your sword. For the light incantation, you need to go to the knight's room, and you need to shoot these crystals, starting with the first crystal in the middle, then this second crystal coming from the entrance from the spawn. These things are a little finicky, but if you kind of move around the arena and kind of put a couple bullets here, a couple bullets there, it will work. Just kind of move around. Don't be at the same spot shooting it. Make sure you're in a different spot, and eventually it will go to where it needs to be. Once you align all crystals, the crystal will go to this desk, or a laser will hit this desk, unveiling a part that you can pick up. Go ahead and pick up the Paladin's brooch. Once you have the part, a glowing circle will spawn next to the knights. Go ahead and interact with it. It's going to go ahead and spawn a bunch of zombies. Once you've made enough kills, you'll notice that all the zombies will disappear, and you can go ahead and melee the box with your light sword. Now you can get the light incantation. For our third sword, we're going to be doing the stag symbol, which is our electric sword. First, you want to grab the first part right by Deadshot, and it's always going to be hanging right by these crates.
That'll fucking work.
Next, get dead wire on your gun. Go next to where speed cola is, and you're going to see this generator box right here. Shoot it with your dead wire weapon and pick up your second part. Next, keep killing zombies to get the third and final part. If you come here to where Pack-a-Punch and Quick Revive are, like to this general area, you'll get the part here faster from what I've been hearing, and it did work in my game. I did a whole round in spawn and didn't get the part to drop, but brought one zombie to Pack-a-Punch and got the part to drop. So if you're having issues, definitely bring zombies to Pack-a-Punch. With all three parts, head to where the cannon is, and you'll notice this vase on the right hand side. Interact with it. I would recommend saving 3 to 4 zombies to do this step. That way you're not overcrowded in this area. You can get very overwhelmed very fast if you have a whole round worth of zombies. So definitely save 3 or 4 zombies before you do this. How this step works is you don't need to get kills. This is not kill based. It's just time based. And all you're waiting for is your sword to charge. It's going to be hit with lightning. And as soon as it's hit with lightning, you're going to notice your sword will be glowing. And all you need to do is melee the base. Make sure you get a hit marker because it is a little finicky. I've been noticing I've been needing to melee it twice for it to work. And just so you can see, I'm not going to get any kills right here. None whatsoever. I'm just going to be training the zombies, waiting for my charge. As you can see, didn't get any kills. My charge came, and I was able to melee the vase once again. Now for the third time, we're going to do the same thing. We're just going to be waiting for the time charge. And once we get the charge, we're going to melee the base for the third and final time without getting any kills. It's just a time based, and you're just waiting for your sword to charge. As you can see, got my last charge, melee the base, and now you can go ahead and place your sword in there. And it's just a couple second delay. Once the lights go away, the electricity goes away, you can go ahead and pick up your electric sword. For the electric incantation, right by Deadshot and right by the electric part, what you need to do is shoot this horseshoe right here, and this will give you the first step to getting your electric incantation. Next, head to the cannon, and since you have the horseshoe now, you're going to be able to catch an electrical spark in the air, which is going to spawn an electrical cloud, which will either be on the left side, on the Speed Cola side, that side, or it could be on the Deadshot side, which in this game, it was the Deadshot side. If it is the Deadshot side and not the Speed Cola side, go ahead and grab your part, which is the Pegasus horseshoe. Next, with the horseshoe, head into spawn, and you're going to notice this glowing circle again, and same thing as the other two. You just need to kill enough zombies, and this glowing circle will disappear, exposing a chest. Once it's finished, don't forget to melee the chest. Now you have the electric incantation. Our fourth and final sword is the Raven Sword, which is the Void Sword. Head into the alchemical lab, and we're looking for a part. The first spawn out of 5 is right here. If your spawn location is here, which is the Raven Skulls, right here in the bookcase, you're going to need to know 2 symbols that you're going to enter in after you deposit the artifact and the sword, the Void Sword, the blank, base sword. You're going to need to know 2 symbols to enter in to get to the next step to this sword upgrade. For the Raven Skull, you need to know the air symbol, which is a triangle with a line through it, and then you need to know the Gemini symbol, which is this symbol on screen. If this is your location, take a screenshot of this because you're going to need to know this once we do get the spawn. The next possible spawn is right next to it on the right hand side of this bookcase, the same bookcase that the previous part was in. If you find your part here, your two symbols will be fire, which is just a triangle, and then Leo, which is this symbol on screen. Take a screenshot of this, or just remember this for when we get to spawn, if this is your part. For the third part is right to the right side of the bookcase in this little shelf, and you will find the fish fossil. If you find your part here, which is of course the fish fossil, your two symbols are going to be water and Pisces. Water is the down triangle, and Pisces is the symbol shown on screen. The fourth possible spawn location is on this desk, right next to this skull. If your part location is here, the two symbols you need to know is water, which is upside down triangle, and then also Scorpio, which is the symbol shown on screen. For the fifth and final location, which is the ram's horn, it could be right here on the bookcase, which is on this location right here. If this is your spawn location, the two symbols you need to know for the ram's horn is fire, which is triangle, and then also Aries, which is the symbol shown on screen. If this is your part location, take a screenshot of this, and now we're going to head back to spawn. Once in spawn, you want to make your way to the bottom level, which is right here, the basement level, and right next to the crafting table, you want to place your artifact, and then go ahead and place your base void sword. The goal of this, as you can see, is rotating the inner ring and rotating the outer ring. The outer ring is what controls the astrological sign, and the inner ring is what controls fire, air, water, etc. You want to rotate each ring until you have the ones you need for your specific part. Now that we know what part we have and what symbols correlates to that part, which in this case is the ram's horn, we're going to rotate the inner ring and the outer ring to match our symbols. As said previously, every game this is different, and each time you play a game, you can have a different part. So depending on where you picked up your part, use the symbols that I showed you to finish this step. Once finished, you'll notice that you're going to have some awesome music, and you need to guide these orbs to the portal that spawns on the floor. It could spawn in multiple locations in this room for the first location, but wherever it spawns, just try to save a crawler for this part, because it kind of does get annoying training these orbs and also training zombies around. And plus, if you're using the Mustang and Fourth, your Mustang and Fourth could kill these orbs. So it takes about 3 orbs per portal, and you have to do 3 of them. And when it's on the first floor, it could be in this location, or it could be closer to the spawn door. But wherever the portal lands, just make sure you guide 3 balls to the portal, and it will move on to the next one. Third and final location is right next to the billiards table. And don't forget that you get to get your free 100 points. You might as well grab it if you're here if you haven't grabbed it yet. Same thing here. Go ahead and guide 3 orbs to this spot, and it will disappear. Once the final orb had made it to the portal, you'll notice that another orb is spawned from that portal. Follow it to the basement, and you can grab your void sword. Just make sure to interact with it once the orb reaches its destination. You'll get a cool little animation, and you'll be able to pick up your sword. For the void incantation, make your way by Pack-a-Punch and take this fast travel. When you take this fast travel, you're going to notice on the right hand side towards the exit, you need to shoot right here to shoot this bird off its ledge. Once the bird is flying, shoot it down, and it's going to drop you a part. Go ahead and pick up the Raven's Talon. If you have your Mustangs and Sallys and you're at spawn already, you don't have to take this lift. You can just shoot through the hole and actually reach this bird. But if you're ready in Pack-a-Punch, you might as well just take the fast travel. Next, make your way to pools, which is right underneath stamina. Wait for this portal to spawn, just like the rest. Go ahead and interact with it. A bunch of zombies will spawn. Once you kill enough zombies, the chest will spawn. Once finished, go ahead. Don't forget to melee your box to unlock your void incantation. Next, you're going to need to grab melee macchiato. Head down to pools and you're going to notice that there's going to be this wall with some blue lettering behind it. Go ahead and punch it with your melee macchiato. You're going to need to hit 6 symbols in order from 6 vases found at spawn. Head to spawn, go into the bar area, and you're going to notice that these vases, there's 6 of them around the map, and you need to pay attention to these symbols. You're going to want to jot this down, draw on a separate piece of paper. If you notice, on top of this is Roman numerals, and this is 6. So this is going to be your last symbol that you need to enter into the wall. The next one is right here on the bar. Go ahead and interact with it, show your symbol, and go ahead and jot this down. The next one is right here on this dinner table. Go ahead and interact with it and jot this symbol down. This one is number 2. The next one is right across the way, right here on this dinner table. Same thing here. Go ahead and interact with it and show your symbol. This one is number 5, and as you can see, it's a sideways 6. Next one is right here on this corner, and this one is number 3. Same thing here. Jot down the symbol and move on to the next vase. The next one, if you make your way all the way up to the top of the billiards, this one is number 4. And as you can see, it's like an umbrella shape. Jot this symbol down. And now this is the final one. Now that we have all of our symbols, and this being the last one right by the billiards, we're going to go ahead and make our way back to the pool section and enter in the code from the Roman numerals from 1 to 6. Now that we have our symbols, we're back here at pools, and from 1 through 6, we're going to go ahead and enter them. Make sure maybe have a crawler for this, because it does get annoying trying to enter these codes. It gives you a short amount of time. Each code, a shorter amount of time each time you enter one code. So by the time you get to the 6th one, it goes really quick. If you're in solo, I highly recommend you pausing it so it gives you enough time to search for the symbol. If you're anything like me, it takes me forever to search for a symbol inside many symbols. So use your pause menu and just shoot the symbols in order 1 through 6. Once you shoot the last one, you'll notice that a red orb will spawn and move right next to it, exposing a book that's missing 4 pages, which we need to look around in stamina up area. There is a skip for this, and I will include the skip video in the description once I'm finished making it. It's probably going to be included within the next day or 2, but I will include it in the description. Next, make your way into the stamina up room. You're going to need to find 4 pages in this area that has different spawn points per page. The first spawn point, or the first page we're looking for, is in this area. Could be on that wall, could be on this wall. Mine is right there. It also could be on this box. So go ahead and pick up your part, and this will be the first page in this location. For your second page, the spawn points could be here on this bed or on the desk. Mine was on this chair right here. It could also be on this bed right here. The third page will be right in front of Stamina Up in 3 possible locations. It could be right here on the TV. It could be right here on the couch. And it could also be where it is in my game by the TV. For the 4th and final page, make your way on the outside left of Stamina Up. It could be on the wall here. So look out for that little red glowing eye, or it could be on this wall here, which in my game, it's right on the left side of the wall, which is right by the zombie. Once you grab the last page, you'll get a little quote, and then you can return to the pools area. Once you're at the pools, go back to the book, and you're going to place all 4 pages on the book.
Oh, it's on now, you mother.
Once you deposit the pages, you're going to notice that from top left to bottom left, 1, 2, and then top right, which is 3, and then bottom right, which is 4. In this order, you need to light up traps around the map and get kills in the trap. It only takes about 8 to 10 kills per trap, but you need to do the traps in this order. So if you're in your game, because this could be different in every single game, head to the book, take a screenshot of this so you know which symbols you need to start in order. There are 6 trap locations located around the map. The first trap location is right by Deadshot. If you make your way from spawn and come up here, the first trap location is right here. Next trap location is right in front of the castle, right here in the middle. Next trap location is right by Speed Cola. If you make your way down here, it's located right here. Next trap location is right by Stamina Up, and this is always going to be your last trap, so no matter what, this is always going to be your last one, your 4th one, but this is the next trap location. The next trap location is right next to Pack-a-Punch, located right here. Next trap location is right in front of Quick Revive, located right here. Now that we know where all our trap locations are, all we need to do is match our book with the trap locations, starting from 1, then 2, and so forth. The first one in my game is regular eyeball. There's no eyelashes. As you can see, the last one, the 4th one, is an eyeball with eyelashes, so we just need to remember that. Our second one is going to be the swords with spikes. And then our third one is just going to be the regular eyeball with swords. This is just what I named them. You can name them whatever you want. And then you also have 2 dead traps, which is always going to have the sword with spike symbol and also the 2 red circles on it. If you notice that the 2 outer circles are lit and glowing, this means that this is a dead trap, which means that this location is a dead location and is not any of your 4 pages. Now, all we have to do is find our first eye, which right here is my first eye. It's just a regular eye with nothing else in it, just an eyeball with no lashes. We check back to the book. It's going to be the top left one right here. As you can see, it has a little bit of a blood stain at the bottom, but that is the regular eye. Make sure you have enough zombies for this. It takes about 8 to 10 zombies, and it doesn't take that long. Once you start the trap, usually maybe 5 seconds, if not shorter, if you have enough of a horde. But once it's finished, you can go ahead and make your way back to the book to make sure you got it right. As you can see, we got it right, and the color is no longer there. Now we're up to our second trap. Here's our second symbol, and this one is the spikes with no circles on the outside. Get your 8 to 10 kills, and you can go ahead and move on to your third symbol. The third symbol happens to be by Speed Cola, and this one is the eyeball with just the swords with no spikes. Make sure you have enough zombies, and go ahead and finish out this one. And as I said previously, the last one is always going to be in front of Stamina Up. Go ahead and finish this one. 8 to 10 kills. You're going to notice that you're going to get a quote signifying that you've done this right. Once the last trap is finished right by Stamina Up, a red orb is going to travel to this wall here. And you'll notice that the red orb has spawned Roman numerals from 1 to 4, starting from the top. And then right being 2, bottom being 3, and the left being 4. You have to jot this order down because you need to head into the knight's room and interact with each knight by throwing an incantation at it and then throwing the weapon inspect with your sword out. Next, head into the knight's room, and in the order that we just got from the wall, grab the incantation for the sword that you're doing. You're going to go ahead and use your incantation and press your interact button. And once you do so, the knight will give you a little salute and you can place the sword in the slot. In my game, the next sword I have to do is the lion sword, and I need to grab the incantation for the light sword. I'm going to head to the knight, throw the incantation, throw my inspect, and the knight's going to salute again. Go ahead and deposit your sword. Do this for the other 2 knights in the order that you got from the wall.
Major gift for the Dragon Knight.
Once complete, you're in the home stretch here. You're going to be getting the Mystic Orb. All you need to do is pick up the Mystic Orb, and you need to do 4 lockdowns around the map according to the elements of your swords. Go ahead and pick up your orb. Next, we're going to be doing the light room, which is this room here, the knight's room, by interacting with this wall here, placing the Mystic Orb, and then interacting with it again to start the lockdown. Now, in this lockdown, you don't have to get kills. All you need to do is run through the orb, and you're going to notice a orb is going to fly out of it and head to where you interacted with for the Mystic Orb. So you need to run through about 10 to 12 of these, and once you've finished running through them, you're going to notice that this step will be completed. Saving a zombie doing this step is very helpful, because there's going to be a bunch of zombies spawning, and as long as you don't kill the one zombie that's from your round, this round will not end. Once it's finished, you can go ahead and pick up the Mystic Orb. The next one we're going to be doing is the fire lockdown. Go ahead and grab your fire sword and grab another incantation, which is your fire incantation, which will help with this lockdown. Go ahead and interact with this and interact with it twice. The second time starting the lockdown. Best way to complete this lockdown is using the incantations on a horde of zombies. If you use 3 to 4 of them on 3 to 4 power-ups, you can finish this fairly easy. You can also finish this using the sword and sword melee abilities, but only every other melee sword swipe will count. So only the special ability and the incantations are the fastest one to finish that one. Don't forget to pick up your orb. Next one we're going to do is the stag, which is the electric sword. Head to spawn, grab your incantations, and then you can place your Mystic Orb right here. Once you're ready, go ahead and interact with it a second time to start the lockdown. Once you finish this lockdown by using the incantations or using the sword special ability, you can go ahead and pick up your Mystic Orb. Next, we're going to be doing the Void lockdown. Head to the pools area, and hopefully you already have some Void incantations, but if you don't, there is one available here. If you do bring one here, though, you get to use 4 of them like we did with the fire one. You can also do that with the electric one, but this one works the same. You can only get the kills that count with the sword's special ability or with the incantations. Using the incantations, though, you don't get much souls. You will need to charge your Void Sword by getting melee kills. That's the fastest way to complete this. I have completed this somehow with my Mustang and Sally of Horse. I didn't even have like the AAT on that correlates to the Void element, so I didn't know why that completed. But basically, you're just going to need to get the melee kills And once you get the melee kills, you'll have your special. You'll use the special to go ahead and finish this lockdown. Sometimes the special is a little finicky. You have to press it a couple of times, but as you can see, once you get enough souls with either the special ability or the incantations, this will be finished and you can pick up the Mystic Orb. Now that we got our fourth and final orb lockdown complete, we can place the Mystic Orb where we got the order that we placed the swords in, the knights. Make your way by stamina up, down the stairs, and on this wall, place the Mystic Orb. This will open up a secret room where you can grab a part and interact with a little ghost here. You're going to get some dialogue. Grab the Guardian Key. Now at this point, you're going to want to prep for the boss fight. This boss fight is very hectic, so you're going to want to be very well prepared. You're going to want to have all your perks, the perks that you see on the screen, including Vulture's Aid, Deadshot, Speed Cola, Melee Macchiato, Stamina Up, Jug, and PhD being your first 3 perks that you purchased, and then also Quick Revive. You're going to want to have your Sally in 4th, at least at a purple rarity, and then also a tier 2 Pack-a-Punch if you're going into the boss fight before round 25. You're also going to want to make sure that you got all your Gobblegums that you want to use for the boss fight. For your second weapon, you probably loaded it in with the XM4 or you loaded it in with another weapon. If you loaded it in with the XM4 wall buy is right by Speed Cola, and you can check at this point if the rarity is high, like right here, it was a purple rarity on round 21. Go ahead and grab it if it's a higher rarity than you have currently held in your hand. You're going to want to Pack-a-Punch this to Pack-a-Punch level 2. If you're going in after round 25, I will suggest Pack-a-Punching to tier 3 at gold rarity, but anything before round 25, level 2 with purple rarity will work just fine. Also at this point, you want to make sure your sword is fully charged. That way your sword, when you're using it in the boss fight, and you're going to want to bring in the light sword for this boss fight. The light sword recharges your shield every time you swipe a melee attack, but the sword has to be fully charged. So don't use your alt ability at all in the boss fight. Don't use it before the boss fight. Make sure it's fully charged. Another thing you want to make sure of is having the light incantation already equipped on you. Already have 2 of them on you, as you will be using it right when you get into the boss fight. When you're ready, go ahead and place the key, the Guardian Key down, and the boss fight will start. Once you get into the boss fight, you're going to have a little bit of a delay where the boss doesn't touch you. If you time out popping your Aether Shroud to when you get in, you can pretty much sword swipe as soon as the health bar comes out. So it's a little bit of a timing thing, but if you time it right, you get a little bit more DPS. And what you're going for is you're breaking his armor, starting with his feet. And once you expose and destroy his armor, you expose a weak spot, which then you have to destroy the weak spot. His weak spots are at his arms, gauntlets, his shoulders, his chest piece, and his legs. However, if you have a bad damage phase, he does have several attacks. If you're not able to keep meleeing at him, and you're unable to use your incantation to keep you alive while you melee at him, he has a stomp attack, which right there is very dangerous because it has an AoE attack on the ground that stays there for about 10 to 15 seconds and keeps damaging you. So be careful of that because he does close down the arena. He also spits fire, and every time he spits fire, it closes down a huge circle of the arena. So gotta be careful of these attacks. The whole point of using the melee strat is so you can bypass these attacks, because these attacks are very strong and his aim assist is very, very high. It doesn't matter if you use your slide, he's still gonna hit you. So you gotta kind of time it out. You gotta look at him as he's attacking you. That way you can kind of dodge left or dodge right. He also has an attack where he jumps at you and has this circle that goes above, like on the ground, so you know where he's jumping to. But that attack does a lot of damage, so just be careful as you make your way through this boss fight. Try to break his armor on his shoulders and his gauntlet, and once you break the armor, get the weak points. You can do this with just weapons, it just takes a lot longer, but if you're able to melee him consistently, you don't even have to use your weapon if you can do it, you know, consistently. But you just got to get used to this fight, get used to the attacks, because once you do, you'll get a little bit more comfortable staying in the melee zone. That way you can do a lot more damage. Once you have enough zombies, go ahead and use your incantation. That way you can heal up as he's stomping. What you want to do too is you always want to kind of move to your right as he's stomping. That way it does less damage to you. Move to the left or right, doesn't really matter. You just kind of want to do your best to get as far away from the stomp as possible. And you only want to kind of melee when you have spawns comfortably. I mean, you can keep meleeing even though you don't have spawns. You just got to keep a really good eye on your health, because every stomp is going to negate your health. Back up, come back in, and maybe do some weapon damage, whatever you have to do. But just kind of keep an eye out on your health, keep an eye out on your shielding when you're using the melee strat. Once he's in the middle, all you have to do is kill zombies during this phase after the first damage phase, and the whole point and thing you want to focus on is building your field upgrade and keeping your shielding. So use your sword during this a lot so you can keep your shielding, and make sure you keep your shielding, because every time you swipe at it, you get your shield or a portion of your shield rebuilt. Go ahead and use your incantations, but the most important thing is you want to build your field upgrade. Before phase 2 starts, make sure to pick up a light incantation. Once you see the health bar appear, pop your Aether Shroud and just do damage. Try to hit the sweet spots, hit the red glowing spots. Like I wasn't hitting the leg right there, I should have hit the leg. I was just trying to break his armor pieces on his gauntlets and his shoulders. But go for all the weak spots and jump if you have to get it. The whole point of this strat, like I said in phase 1, is you need zombies to heal. So pay attention to your health and pay attention to your shielding. Even though the sword is recharging your shield, sometimes he can do damage that, you know, is more than the shield regeneration. So if you have to back away, back away. And in phase 2, his attacks are a lot more aggressive, and he does them in a lot more of an aggressive pattern. So when he does his like flame spit, or when he spits flame at you, he does it 3 times, and then he jumps at you like 2 times, and then he like runs at you for like, you know, 15 seconds, and then, you know, obviously when you're close enough, he stomps at you. So just be careful of his attacks, especially the one where you see the circle on the ground and you see the you know, little marking. Just kind of dodge out of that, because that jump attack is very devastating. Plus, if he hits you with that hammer, he can basically throw you across the room, which is very dangerous in phase 3, because the lava is just everywhere, and the lava does incredible damage to you. So use your weaponry, use your sword, whatever you have to do to finish him off. But once you do enough damage, he will go to the middle. Just to show you the ground pound attack that can throw you like 20 feet, he just did right now. So just be careful when you go in, because sometimes if you mistime it, that attack can throw you right into lava. And just to show you how much damage this lava does, I just was half health and all the way to 0 right here within a second. So I suggest always kind of keep an eye on him. Do sword attacks when you can, when there's zombies, in a safe way. And if there's not, then, you know, back up, do some damage with your weapons. But like I said, once you do enough damage, this phase will be over and he will go to the middle and you can start your last lockdown. As you can see, he's in the middle. Now the last lockdown will start. This lockdown is a little bit more aggressive because lava will grow on the outsides of the arena, making it a lot smaller. So you're only going to have the inner ring here to kind of run around in. And this goes the same thing with when the final phase starts. So I would suggest popping your arsenal accelerator, because this lasts 5 minutes. It will help build up your special quicker during this last lockdown, and maybe even give you almost your special back during damage if you have a bad damage phase. But I would suggest popping it here, and then also saving your shields up for the last damage phase. You will also have an amalgam spawn during this last lockdown. Just save a fire incantation or an electric incantation, and you could one-shot them. Pick up your light incantation and start doing damage. Just keep in mind that the arena is a lot smaller, so when you're out of your Aether Shroud, you gotta be a lot more careful. Just keep in mind that the outside rings are all filled up with lava, so you have to be very careful of his hammer attack, because it will throw you in the lava. So just be very, very careful. Do your best to try to dodge his attack. Like right there, I got lucky and got pushed up instead of away. So that's kind of the thing you want. Use your incantations as you can and as needed. Pay attention to your health, pay attention to your armor, do damage, and back away if you need to. Do weapon damage instead of sword damage. Kind of mix it up, play it as ear, but just keep doing as much damage as safely as possible. When he uses his hammer attack and his spit attack, just keep in mind he's shortening the playing field a lot. So make sure that you're picking up the light incantations as frequently as possible. Make sure you're paying attention to your health and armor. I know I keep repeating that because you really have to watch it. You have to pay attention to it. Otherwise, you can die so quickly trying to do this boss fight. If you run out of health or armor, back up, use your gun, use everything you can. Aim for the chest piece since we got it exposed now with the sword. And once you do enough damage, the boss fight will be completed. Your health is going to be close to 0 so many times during this boss fight. And like I said, you're going to want to use your shields up. It helped me out a lot. As you can see, I was at 10% health for the longest time, because at this point I didn't have quick revive. I already used my near-death experience. So dodge his attacks. Make sure to try to keep your best to keep an eye on him as he's doing his attacks, so that way it gives you a better chance to dodge him. During the home stretch here, there's been a couple times where I failed, so just do your best not to panic, because like I said, you'll be close to death so many times. And as safely as possible, do as much damage as you can. And GG's, you have completed the Citadelle Des Morts boss fight. Now, this boss fight was a challenge. It was a huge challenge for me. I don't know, it was something about his attacks where it involved a lot of timing, and I didn't know my timing has been this off lately. So it was good to, you know, finally get to know the attacks and what strat best works. And I hope this guide helps you out. If this guide did help you out, please don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button. It really, really helps us out. And I'm just trying to get this number a little bit, you know, to the subscribe side. As you can see, 98% of the people who view my videos are not currently subscribed. And it would really help out if you would hit that like and subscribe button. I'll catch you guys on the next video.